Money Hunt is made possible by Fast Company magazine. Fast Company, Handbook of the Business Revolution. And by Yahoo. Do you Yahoo? Yahoo. Money Hunt is also brought to you by MasterCard's Business Card, a small business resource for controlling costs. The word of the day is hockey stick. Stay tuned for the answer to the word of the day from MasterCard.
Welcome to Money Hunt. I'm Miles Spencer. It's a proven fact that up-and-coming companies create most of the new jobs in America. But growing companies need capital. If you're an entrepreneur, you'll learn how difficult it is to raise money, especially from professional investors. But what if you had the opportunity to hear the tough questions in advance, to watch other entrepreneurs sweat? What if you could learn from their mistakes? You'd master the game in no time. Cliff Ennico and I have been working hand in hand with America's up-and-coming companies for 10 years. And though financing is only a means to an end for business, we think it's critical for you to know as much as possible about the process. We call it Money Hunt.
What you're about to see is pretty close to what happens when an entrepreneur goes out looking for money. Each of our entrepreneurial guests has only a precious few minutes to describe his or her business plan, while the Money Hunt panel interrupts, pokes holes in the plan, zooms in on problems, and otherwise challenges the guest's presentation. At the end of the show, we will give our brutally honest evaluation of each entrepreneur's pitch, and we'll try to decide if these folks are ready to go out and raise money in the real world, which brings up a very important point. This is TV land. No money is actually being raised on this program. Nobody's offering company securities on the air. That can only be done with a legal prospectus registered with the SEC and other government agencies.
Our Money Hunt mentor for this show has a long history of high-octane ventures. She's Candace Carpenter, founder and CEO of iVillage, a cyberspace success story. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready to meet our first money hunter. His name is Doug Bush, Vice President of Finance and Operations for Online Scouting Network.
Welcome to Money Hunt, Doug. Come on in.
Online Scouting Network helps college coaches hook up with promising high school athletes on the internet so they can find the next Joe Montana. Doug, welcome to the Money Hunt. Interesting idea. Tell us a little bit about how this business got started. What's the history?
The company was started over 2 years ago. Actually, my partner and president of the company, Tim Jemison, came up with the idea while watching a college football game. Penn State was playing Michigan, and he was laying on his couch. He had his laptop open, surfing the internet, and the commentator had mentioned something about an athlete that made this big play. He wasn't heavily recruited and just walked on. So Tim said, well, I'm curious to see if there's a recruiting service online, and did a search. There was no search results found, so we put together a tentative plan and approached myself and my partner Peter Barkman about it.
Now, it's interesting. He's first gone to the coaches to put together, basically to sign them up first. And I think you brought a video clip which we could talk over for a minute and explain how the process works.
Sure.
Let's go to the tape.
Well, college coaches that are interested in using our service, they can access our site here at osn.com. You can see a list of colleges that are using OSN to find student athletes right now. We have information for college coaches, student athletes. They can request information online by filling out this form and submitting it to us. And then we issue these college coaches a username and password, which allows them to access our database of student athletes.
Super. Now, how many college coaches do you have on the system today?
As of today, we have over 1,200 college athletic programs that are using OSN as an initial screening tool in the recruiting process.
So basically, the kids sign on, they pay a certain fee to get on the network.
Yes.
And then the college coaches, now, do they pay anything?
Right now, no, they don't.
Now, actually, I think you also have a clip of the college coach doing a search of one of the students, and if we could go to that, you could explain just how the search works once they're signed up.
college coach, they can access the men's locker room or women's locker room, depending on the sport they're trying to find. They click on the sport they're interested in, and then they enter their search criteria, personal, academic, athletic information, as well as geographic. They can pull up a list of athletes that met their criteria and pull up their profile. You can see the student's personal, academic, and athletic information for all sports and positions on our service. If the student submits a 2-minute video, College Coach can actually download that from the net and view it right from their desktop.
Now, how many students do you have on the system today?
We have over 500 students that are currently enrolled in the service, and we're rapidly approaching the 1,000 mark. We get anywhere between 50 to 60 profiles coming into our company a week.
Now, this is a closed-end network, though, so I couldn't just get on my computer tonight and hook into this thing.
That is correct. Only registered college coaches that have a username and password can access our database. The general public can only view a demonstration database of fictitious names.
Of the schools you have signed up, what percentage of the top athletic schools do you have?
Well, the schools vary, but they range from Division I through Division III in NCAA, as well as NAIA schools, and the junior colleges, NJCAA.
Okay, how many different sports do you have on this?
We do all sports. There are 23 sports that are recruited for at the collegiate level between men's and women's sports, and OSN caters to all of them.
Now, this is both male and female?
Yes, they are.
Just getting ahead, a little bit ahead, perhaps. How do you go about reaching the kids? Do you go directly to the kids, or do you go through the high school athletic programs?
That's the $100,000 question right there. We have tried multiple approaches to reaching the student athletes. We've gone through the schools, we've gone to their parents, we've gone to state coaching associations, we've gone to camps and clinics. Any approach that we think would get increased exposure and awareness of OSN to the student athletes.
Now, of your 500 students that you have on today, notice you do have a website, but you're marketing to these students directly. How many have signed on directly through the web, and how many have come to you through face-to-face marketing?
I would say out of the number that we have in the database, roughly 20% have come from the internet itself, either by doing searches online, have found our site through searching for recruiting, and have registered that way. The remainder have registered as a result of seeing us at a trade show or having heard about it from their coaches and or parents.
Obviously, the web, much less expensive way to market, but you don't have that much market penetration today. Let's talk about the competition within your marketplace today. Who else is out there, and how big is the market?
Well, first I should state that this is a brand new market that we've created, OSN being the first to enter this market. Traditionally, recruiting services have been paper-based, where they push paper-based resumes across college coaches' desks. So OSN came along, offering a brand new medium in terms of the recruiting process, making it more efficient. And as a result, 2 or 3 other companies have followed suit and entered the market.
So you now have some competition
Yes, we
from
do.
other companies.
Are they also entrepreneurs, or any of them attached to large companies?
No, they're all entrepreneurs. They're pretty much startup companies as well. They're limited to select sports and or market and regions of the country.
Let's talk securities, because that's important. You must have some way of screening these kids. I mean, what's to prevent somebody like me from sending you a portfolio of stuff and putting, doing a jury-rigged photo with Miles' head on my body to make me more attractive to Ivy League schools?
Well, every student athlete that completes a form, they have to sign off saying that the information they provided is accurate and true to the best of their knowledge. Their parents sign off on it, as well as a coach that signs off on it as well. And we make it perfectly clear to student athletes that if they fraudulently misrepresent themselves on their profiles, that their profile is immediately removed from the service.
Now, what about the coaches themselves? I mean, have you ever had a problem at their end of the spectrum, too? I mean, do any of them kind of inflate their programs or something?
The high school coaches?
Yeah.
There are a few that will do that, but it's not a significant number.
Let's move on to the management and money section. Who else do you have on your team to achieve this ambitious plan?
Well, my partner and founder, Tim Jemison, he is the president of the company.
Background?
He has a bachelor's degree in finance from the Penn State University, extensive background in computers and sales, and my partner, Peter Barketing, is in charge of marketing for the company. He has an extensive background in marketing from St. John's University and has had various marketing management positions throughout his career.
Has he done the college markets before? I mean, does he know the athletic market?
Well, actually, he did recruiting from colleges themselves for select positions in his company.
What sales level are you at today?
OSN has just exceeded the $25,000 mark in sales.
And that's a weekly, monthly, yearly?
Well, that is since we began marketing to high schools nationwide beginning in September.
Okay. And how much money are you looking for? What are you going to use it with?
OSN is looking to raise anywhere between $2 to $2.5 million, and that money will be used for marketing purposes as well as to further develop the database.
Doug, what's the immediate need now? What's the critical thing that's got to be done right now to make this business a success?
The immediate need is to increase the functionality of the database. while adding to staff, because my staff is pretty much drained right now. They're working 6-7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
And by staff, you mean just the in-house office people, the
in-house
webmasters
people.
and all that
They're
stuff?
They're totally committed to it, but we recognize that to truly manage the growth of this company, we're going to need additional help.
Candace smiles. She thinks you're taking it easy on you.
How quickly do you anticipate ramping your sales level, your run rate?
Well, first year projections, we expect to have 5,000 student athletes in the database, and that amounts to approximately $600,000 in sales.
Good presentation, Doug. Next on deck, a company who wants his company to make waves as an internet production shop.
Be our guest. If you think you're ready for Money Hunt, we're ready for you. Send a one-page summary of your idea by emailing us at show@moneyhunter.com.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Before we continue, please keep in mind that nothing we say on this show should be construed as legal, tax, or accounting advice, and we are not recommending an investment in any of the companies you see here. The laws on raising capital vary from state to state, and you will need to contact a lawyer, accountant, or tax expert who's licensed to practice in your state for the advice you need to build your business. Now let's see our second money hunter. His name is Jason Hewitt, president of Planet Symphony.
Welcome to Money Hunt, Jason. Come on in.
Planet Symphony is developing products to make it easier and faster for you to download web pages and other information from the internet. Jason, welcome to the Money Hunt.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Planet Symphony. Great name. How did you get started?
Well, we got started back in 1994, and we'd wanted to have a multimedia company down in the swamp in Louisiana. We began work. The internet really exploded there at the end of 94 and first of 95. We began doing corporate websites. We moved on. We did a broadcast of Mardi Gras Live this year.
Now, Jason, you brought some tape of that, is that correct? Maybe
Sure.
We could show that and you could talk over it and show some of the websites that you've designed.
Sounds great. Here's one of the websites that we've recently designed for Casa Fiesta, which is a food manufacturer. It's mainly for the European audience. Here's a Cyber Mardi Gras, and this is really where we started our software development. This is also another corporate website that we did for the city of Lafayette. Cyber Mardi Gras is where we really hit the boat. And here's another thing that we do live broadcast with, which is our TerraCast. That's where we began our software development, because after we did Mardi Gras, which was the first one, we broadcast to 14 countries, and we still only hit a very small audience. So we sat down in a conference room and turned the lights off and closed the doors, and we started thinking, how and why were we only able to hit 50,000 or so people with this broadcast?
Well, it's an interesting concept. I mean, the Cyber Mardi Gras is basically a live via satellite transmission of Mardi Gras activities on the internet.
Right.
That you get via your PC rather than a cable hookup.
Right. With that, we used Advantis, the IBM Global Network to
Now,
broadcast.
Jason, this was all contract work. Now, up to this point, all this was contract work. Companies or cities or whatever would pay you to do this, and you got paid a fee for doing this.
Matter of fact,
Correct.
Cliff, it's a good point. I've got a question from the website. This comes from Amanda Champion. Pretty stuff, but she says everybody and their brother designs web pages these days.
And
What makes you guys stand out?
well, that's the whole thing. When we decided that we were going to tackle software development, we went to VC guys and stockbrokers and things like that, and they all said, we're not going to invest into a web design company, and we know that. Everybody can do a website. That's where we hit the software, and that's our main point.
So you're basically making a transition to being a software developer. Now, something very interesting happened to Planet Symphony at about this time. After you sort of topped off on the web pages, you kind of split up into two companies now that are sort of working in sync. Tell us a little bit about that and how it works.
Correct. When we went to visit the venture capital guys, they all said the same thing. They said, you're in Louisiana, you're not where the action is, you're doing websites. So what we did is we split into two companies, Planet Symphony and Starseed. Starseed is the product development company. We moved it out to Ashland, Oregon, which is an hour north of San Francisco, and we began product development there.
Now,
Do you
Planet
own the
Symphony
company?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, so you're wholly owned, so it's just making up. So the software development is being done out of Oregon, and you're still just doing the websites out of Louisiana.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about some of these software products. I understand you have some products in the works that will help people download web pages faster than they can right now.
Right.
You're
referring to what we call the Bullet Server, and it's a software product that's hardware independent, and basically
Hardware independent meaning
it
operates on all platforms.
all platforms.
Okay.
Correct. Basically, what it does is it speeds up the translation of data. at a minimum of times 10. And it doesn't matter what it is, it's still times 10. We do text 50 times
so
faster.
times 10 simply means that if it takes a site, say 3 minutes normally to download onto my computer, this will happen in 15 seconds or something like that?
Correct.
Is this a protected product, a protected technology?
Yes, and it is under development right now. We are testing it. We've just done an alpha test on it. The product does work. We look for a full release most likely around March.
Let's transition into the market and competition. You talk about a full release. How big is the marketplace for this specific product, and who's your competition?
Well, our marketplace is the big boys. You know, it's the MCIs, AT&Ts, the people who have large websites. Our competition, as far as this software product goes, we have found one other company that's doing something similar, but it doesn't incorporate everything that we do. Our software also has some smart server software to where it can do load management across the internet.
So from a marketing perspective, where would I go to buy this? Is this a retail product, or is this sold to other
It's just a business-to-business
product. So other people who run internets, who are service providers and people like that, would buy this as an add-on to their services.
Correct.
How do you make sure you've smoked out all the other competitors, that you know where they are? I mean, you guys were in Louisiana. Probably people didn't even know you were doing this.
Right.
So how do you know
that's
for
the
sure
hardest
who else
thing.
is doing it?
That's the hardest thing. The way that we know that there's just one other company do it is from talking to so many technology venture capitalists,
Right.
they pretty much know what's
Right.
going on.
They're a good source.
And that's how we came to the conclusion that, hey, we may be the only guys doing this, but it won't be
Right.
for long.
Right.
You've got all the router companies are trying to implement stuff into their routers, and a company like Microsoft or Netscape could actually, if they had the concept and the idea, could go in and just develop this product in a short
Why
time.
would you raise money right now instead of just going to one of the big companies and getting either a licensing deal or having them buy you at this point?
Because I'm young and I want to run a company for a little while.
Fair enough.
But let's talk a little bit about how you're getting your ideas out for your product. How are you reaching these folks? How are you reaching the service providers?
Well, right now, this is probably one of the first ways. We've been in contact with the equipment manufacturers such as Digital and Silicon Graphics, and we've begun talks with those guys to bundle the software with their servers as it's being sold. And those are just in the beginnings. We want to have the working product before we go out and sell it. But we are using some local ISPs as our beta test site.
Because if you go through the servers, isn't there a risk that they're going to try to lock you up? Hey, don't deal with our competition. You got to run this with our server. Especially if you're doing what they call a value-added reseller kind of deal with them. I can tell you right now, they're going to want you not to compete with them. If that's the way you're going about. Reaching the service providers might be a little bit easier for you, but it would probably take you a lot more bigger marketing bucks. It's more of a mass launch.
Let's talk about your management team. What are the disciplines that you have covered today?
Okay, management team, myself, my background is in communications. Another one of the principals, Doug Lobb, his background is actually teaching at a university, advanced computer animation and advanced computer design. Charles Lanous, who's heading up the product development, his background is in product development, ranging from cellular encryption to...
Now, are these web guys or are these software guys?
Software guys.
These are the software guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about from a marketing standpoint?
From a marketing standpoint, I handle a lot of that right now. It's very little that we're doing right now because we're not trying to spread the gospel about this software yet.
Anybody run a business before and have direct P&L responsibility?
Yes, we have all owned our own companies since this, before this. We have a very educated and board of directors.
What's your run rate sales today on an annualized basis?
Sales today with the website side will reach over $500,000 for the year. Sales for the software, we do have a contract that we've done with another company, so that's going to reach almost $500,000, $425,000.
Right now, you're still doing websites, Jason, and obviously that's still providing the bulk of your revenue, it sounds like. But at what point, I mean, how do you see it like a year from now? What's going to be the mix between software and website design?
Well, the website design is getting ready to be sold. We're going to sell that to an ad agency down in Louisiana. We're going to focus on software.
Now, that'll give you a little bit of capital, but how much money are you looking for in addition to that, and what are you going to use it for?
Well, to date, we've raised $1 million in venture capital. We're looking for an additional $4 million, and that's going to help speed up our product development and our marketing efforts.
What's your worst nightmare? What keeps you awake at night?
My worst nightmare is that this is vaporware.
That's a good one.
What do you mean by that? Jason?
This is the software that people talk about but you never see. We have a very good staff in place. I don't believe that that's going to happen. We do have pieces of software that we are testing and it's successful. So I hope that we can get it out. Our problem is manpower.
Yeah. Faster, 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 till the fear of speed overcomes the fear of death. Coming up next, the partners meeting, our evaluation of the ideas we've seen on this show.
Money Hunt wants to hear from you. Email us with ideas and comments on the show at loop@moneyhunter.com.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Our entrepreneurs are gone, but it's time for the analysis section. Our first Money Hunter was Doug Bush from Online Scouting Network. Candace, based on his presentation, does Doug get financing out in the real world?
Yes, I think he does, although I think he should ask for less money than he's going for right now.
Give me the reasons.
I think he should get financing because he's got some interesting characteristics for an internet business. He's got a solid niche. There's clear economic value around the category. He has no competitors now, and he's in early, which in the internet makes a big difference.
So he's looking for $2 million, and you think you got to scale that back a little bit?
$1.5 million, something like that.
Cliff?
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's got a great little niche product. He's got a critical mass of 1,200 coaches who are already online with this, and anybody who's going to compete with him is going to have to build to that critical mass. And right now, he owns the niche. Couple of concerns. I think he's underpriced. I mean, if I'm a high school quarterback and I want to get into a top college, $60, $80, I think he should be at least $200, $300
But
with
Cliff,
this thing.
I think you're off on that because, yes, he's underpriced, but essentially that's the content that's critical to his business. If he doesn't have enough people online and moving through the pipe.
It's a chicken and egg thing. If he doesn't get the coaches, he doesn't get the kids. If
But
he
I
doesn't
think
get
it
the
does say
kids,
he has more, he can ultimately get a revenue stream from the coaches and raise his prices, which is good. I mean, he's got upside on both those going forward. I
ultimately
think
down the
right now
line-
he's got to wrap everyone up.
Right. I mean, Title IX is really playing into his hands
Big
because
opportunity.
finding female athletes for programs is very difficult, inefficient transfer of information, and he's able to provide a service that.
Also, it uses a medium. The search capabilities really improves on the paper version of the product. So
It really
he's got
does.
a really clear
Definitely
advantage.
state of the art. The other thing for him to think about longer term, and this is really down the road because he's still got a way to go with this, but once he saturates the market, I mean, yes, it's an annuity because each year you got a new crop of kids coming in who'll feed into the system, but he's going to reach a certain threshold and he's not going to be able to move beyond that. He's going to have to come up with some new product ideas, and now's not too early to start working
sounds like
on
this
that.
guy is bulletproof and ready to go. Correct?
I think so.
Okay, let's go on to Jason Hewitt from Planet Symphony. Good presentation. Candace, what'd you think?
I would not think he would get financing, but I think he could. He just needs one seasoned veteran on the team who can keep them, win them way through the sharks of Silicon Valley. I mean, he's in a tough crowd with no one who's really been there before.
Cliff?
Yeah, I agree with Candace for a different reason. I'm not troubled by youth at all. These guys are drop-dead web designers, and if you took a close look at that stuff, I mean, they are extreme cool. But there's a company in transition right now. They're just really starting out in the software business, and I agree. That's where they need the mentoring. Software is a tough business right now, highly competitive, big competition out there. You're talking about taking on some pretty big folks with a great concept. If
I
they're
like the guy. I mean, he's betwixt and between great websites, but now my puppy is looking at designing web pages. So that's not going to last, but it looks like he's going to be able to market that to someone else and put some capital into the business where he can
He made
really
a good
get the leverage.
transition. He showed the ability to adapt. It's just that, I mean, when they say they're talking to Netscape, I mean, Netscape will talk to you for a year and a half and you'll never have a deal. He just has to have someone who can give them a reality check and say, that's bullshit, that's good, that's bad.
Right. Also, too, I mean, people may disagree, but I think whatever he does develop, if he does come up with a hot product to speed up downloads, he really ought to be looking heavily at patent protection for his algorithms and stuff, because the minute that happens, the Microsofts and the Netscapes are going to be all over that
So we could pretty much resolve on Planet Symphony exciting stuff, and he's just about there, but he needs to button up a few things before he goes.
But I'll tell you, a very promising startup, and I think some money to get to the next stage would be appropriate, but not $4 million.
Let's see how our money hunters took the news.
Well, I'd like to thank the panelists for giving me their feedback and their comments about our service. We still believe that the money that we're seeking will be used appropriately to take LSN to the next level.
Well, I agree. We are rookies at the software development, but we are bringing people in who have done this type of development out of San Francisco. We did make the right transition getting out of the web business and being able to sell that. I think that we will have success with our products, and we do have a patent attorney working on it right now, and it is patentable.
Further proof of the love affair between entrepreneurs and investors. You think this is easy, getting in front of investor types and talking about your business before a national TV audience? It's not. And growing a business has never been easy, but the potential payoff may make it well worth your while. If you've got a good idea, learn some of the secrets, and have a fire in the belly, you've got what it takes to make it on Money Hunt.
Learn how to succeed at Money Hunt. For a transcript or video cassette of this Money Hunt show, call 1-800-925-0745. Money Hunt is made possible by Fast Company magazine. Fast Company, Handbook of the Business Revolution. And by Yahoo. Do you Yahoo? Yahoo. Money Hunt is also brought to you by MasterCard's business card. Hockey stick, projections that skyrocket miraculously after funding. This word of the day brought to you by MasterCard.